Hey, it's the Digger Spotlight, and it's DK from Adventures in Dirt. Hey, everyone, I just want to say hello and welcome to another episode of Digger Spotlight. This is a show I put on, a live stream show I put on twice a month, usually at the beginning of the month and the end of the month. We'll all bring on notable diggers from our digging community and bring them on here for a live stream interview session, kind of a one-on-one chat. I hate using the word interview. Doesn't the word interview really make it sound like, you're going to be questioned, young man? At least that's what, I don't know, I get all these feelings about that. But yeah, it's just a chat. We get to learn a little bit more about the people that we watch on these YouTube channels and get to ask them questions and interact with people in the chat. I'll tell you, it's been a lot of fun, and I really appreciated you all coming along and supporting the channel and supporting the series. It's a scary thing when you start a new series. I started up the Weekly Dirt, which happens every Sunday at 3. I'll go ahead and plug it. But when you start something new like this Digger Spotlight, you just don't know how it's going to be received. You don't know how well you're going to be able to pull it off. And so far, it's been going pretty darn good. So I want to say I appreciate everyone that comes into chat and supports the show. I want to say thank you to my guests that come on and make the show what it is. Without the guests, I wouldn't have a show, right? Speaking of guests, I've got a great one today. I've been advertising it all week. I've got Gypsy on with Zero Discrimination. She's much more than that, I'll tell you. I know she's had a lot going on with her this year. Let me go on and see if she is on the line with me. Gypsy, hey, there you are. How are you?
Hi, how are you, DK?
Good. Hey, and as we're
Awesome.
talking, everyone, let us know how the audio's doing. Let us know if Gypsy's good, if I'm good. Give us a thumbs up. If somebody needs to be turned up, let me know. I now have the ability to do that. So, Gypsy, thank you so much for coming in on my Digger Spotlight show and saying you would do this for me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. Who do we see here in the chat? I see Chaos Paddlers. Plugmaster Ford, was he first or was Chaos Paddlers first? You two are going to have to argue that out. Who do you see there?
Let's see. We've got Joe Brown. Hello.
Hello,
We've
Joe
got
Brown.
John from Little John Metal Detecting.
Oh, from over in England. Boy, it is early or late there.
North Jersey Detector, Tin Cup Tim. Let's see. I'm missing a lot here.
Yeah, we dig metal detecting. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Hi, Florida Rob.
Yeah, Florida Rob, thanks. Hey, Florida Rob just recently did a pretty awesome shout out to my channel. I was pretty humbled by it. I tell you what,
I saw that.
did you see that? I mean,
Yeah.
when somebody does something like that for your channel, it really makes you feel good. And if that's what people are getting from the Weekly Dirt, then I'm all for that because it made me feel pretty good there, Florida Rob. So thank you all very much for putting that out. That really humbled me for sure. Thank you, sir. Detector CR is here. Like I said, Andy over at We Dig Metal Detecting. Adventures in Dirt Fishing. How you doing, buddy?
We've got Gone Digging. We've got Northeast PA History and Archaeology Search. That's Angelo.
All right.
We've got Kenny. Kingston, 1816. Opportunity Knox.
That's right. Gone digging. What's up, Matt? How you doing? Tin Cup Tim. MG's in the house. MG is a person from my treasure hunting club here in Denver.
Oh,
She's a
awesome.
fellow Eureka Treasure Hunting Club member. So I want to say
Awesome. Well,
hello to
welcome,
MG.
Andy.
Yeah. Awesome. Hey, thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for showing up. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I got Gypsy on from Zero Discrimination. I know I started watching her videos right when I got into metal detecting. I was watching them, and one of the things that I really enjoy, Gypsy, about your channel is a couple of things. One, your enthusiasm. You have such enthusiasm for, and I know where it comes from. I feel it from anything you find. You know what I mean? You could find, some little thing that you just don't know what it is yet. You've just got so much enthusiasm for it. And it's infectious because as a fan, as we're watching your videos, you're just like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like I wonder if she's going to find out because you usually talk about it in the field a little bit and then you do your wrap up at the end of your
And then my
videos.
wrap up at the
And
end.
by then,
Sometimes,
sometimes.
sometimes I'm worried that my wrap ups, I tend to rattle on too much because I get excited about, I've done the research and I found out what something is, and you find out I find things that I had no clue even existed till I dug it up. And then I start doing the research and I'm like, oh, that's what that is, you know?
Right.
And then I get excited and then I want to chat too much. So I apologize if my wrap ups get a little lengthy at times, but sometimes you just can't help it.
No, I appreciate them because, like I said, sometimes you will have found out what it is, and then I'm looking forward to your wrap up. And also the fact that you go everywhere. You go everywhere. You went metal detecting this morning.
Yeah, for a little while in East Texas, which is where I was, is about a 4-hour drive. So
Wow.
I drove quite a ways to get back home today, but you know, everything's bigger in Texas, I guess.
It is a big state. I'll tell you, it's a big state.
Yes.
We were talking about maybe, I was going to visit Texas one of these days, and it was like, well, I wonder where you're at. I wonder if we're going to be anywhere near each other. You're like, oh no, I mean, we could be 8 hours apart in Texas.
Right.
Pretty crazy.
It is. It's big. I've lived all over Texas. I lived in Galveston, Texas, which is the area where I very first got started metal detecting, and then moved to. I was born in West Texas, graduated in West Texas, and so I've just lived all over. And then now I'm kind of in the hill country near Austin area, North
Gotcha.
Austin area.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, how long you been doing metal detecting, and what on earth would ever get you to start this crazy hobby?
that's a good question, DK. So it started. Really, you kind of almost have to go back to my childhood. The way my father, he's actually kind of a science nut and science stuff, and he used to build a lot of things and make things, but he got me interested at a young age, going, and we would go, he would take me to a junkyards and dumps, and he would dig stuff out of the trash, and build things with them. And so at a very young age, I'd love to go out there with him and dig up things and bottles and just find all kinds of neat stuff. So that kind of started at a very, very young age, before I even knew metal detectors existed. And so then when I later on, I had moved. Well, it actually happened before I moved to Galveston area, to the Gulf Coast. I was visiting Galveston, and there was a couple walking up on from the beach with a metal detector in their hand, and I just happened to stop and say, "Oh, did you find anything?" And well, they said, "Oh yeah, we did." And so they pulled out their finds, and I remember they had like a necklace and a handful of change, and they'd even found a ring that day. And so I said, "Well, how long were you out there?" And they said, "Oh, we were just out for a couple hours."
No.
And I was like, wow. I'm totally impressed. So I decided, well, next time I come, because in my brain I was just thinking beach, metal detect. So I had, my brain still hadn't even thought of all the different places you could go metal detecting. So I went to my local Radio Shack, because that's the only place I'd ever seen metal detectors at that time. And I bought, I remember I bought a metal detector at Radio Shack. I think it was $129. And it had the two knobs and the little meter on it that would go back and forth. And next time I went to Galveston, I detected on the beach. And I remember I found a key and some change, not much, because of course it didn't work very well on the beach. And from there, my parents actually told me about a guy that lived near them in East Texas that sold metal detectors. So I paid him a visit, and then I ended up buying my very first Garrett metal detector from him. And it was actually a used machine, because at the time, when you're younger, you can't always afford, the one you want.
Right.
But I started out with I think it was the Garrett, it was one of the old little green metal box. I think it was the Garrett Ace Freedom was the name of the machine.
Ace Freedom, huh?
So you'll have to look it up. I think it was like a 70s or 80s machine. It was really old. But found my very first ring on the beach with that metal detector, and I actually still have that. I wear it quite often.
Oh, wow.
It's one of my favorite silver ring.
Yeah.
And then from that, from then on, I was hooked, and then that hunger comes in, and I just started reading up on everything metal detecting. And of course, not long after that, you know how that, once you get that fever, you end up buying a couple machines. So
Yeah.
I started trying out different brands of machines and different detectors and stuff like that.
Now, how long ago was this now in total? Like, how long have you been detecting total of?
So I would say it's going on 21 years
21
now.
years. Wow. That's
So,
awesome. That's a long time. And we have similar stories. My dad used to do the same thing. He'd go to the dumps, and I'd always go with him,
really?
because he'd always bring stuff back. And he wouldn't build stuff with things. He'd actually he would always look for something that was going to make him rich someday. You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah, like a box of books, trying to find that first edition. And
Yeah.
he was a huge prankster also. I remember
Oh,
one time he brought the big box of books back, and we had relatives over. We'd had this big party the night before, and so everyone was kind of hungover the next day and kind of resting and having coffee. And he had gotten up, gone to the dumps, came back, big box of books, and he just starts passing them out, and everyone's thumbing through them. Well, he had a bunch of cash in his drawer in the back, and he had stuffed all this cash inside one of the books, so that when my aunt opened the book, all this cash and all this money
cash.
fell out. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
everyone was yelling and screaming, and he just loved to prank people and stuff. So yeah,
Oh, wow.
interesting that. And the same
That's
thing, we
fun.
used to see metal detectors on the beach, and wonder what the heck was going on there.
What are they finding? What are they
Yeah,
doing?
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, the beach got me. Once I started learning more about metal detecting, I started. I got a water machine and got in the water. So for years, I did. I would say I would say about 80% of my metal detecting was beach and water detecting. So I would go out there and detect up to my neck, you know, in the water until the waves would start kicking over, and then I would have to go a little more shallow. But
that's
yeah, I
awesome.
remember the very first time um, I found a diamond ring. I was in the water in Galveston at Stewart Beach, and I'm in water up to my neck, and I'm a short person. I'm 5'3", so those waves, when they start kicking up, they'll go over your head. And so I've heard of detectors out that actually drowned out there. So you have to be really careful.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was like up to my neck, and I kept trying to get my scoop down far enough. And finally, I was just about to give up. I tried to scoop like 7 or 8 times, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to dig this up. And
Oh,
finally, I got it up and looked down in my scoop and saw a diamond ring, and I it's
you
like
did one
that
of
was worth
those?
it. Oh,
That's
so
awesome, man. That's oh shoot. Yeah, there's nothing like really big good find. It just. Do you think that was one of the first early memorable finds that it just you were like, okay, I am hooked.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Because and before then, I think I might have found a few junkers and junk rings and jewelry and stuff like that. But when I found my first diamond ring, that was the clincher. And then I actually I would detect almost every day if I could on the beach. And I remember going up and down the beach, and people would stop, and they want to ask questions and stuff like that. And that not long after that, I actually decided to start selling metal detectors because everybody would want a detector, and then they would say, well, where do you buy one? Like, I want one like that, because they would see me dig up something good.
Yeah.
And so I ended up actually becoming a I actually opened up a metal detecting store there in Galveston, called it the Treasure Finders.
Treasure
And,
Finders.
yeah, and had a website. And anyway, I ended up doing that, and then I started a club there in Galveston that's still there, and got involved in that, and then started venturing out off the beach, more than when you get a club
Right.
going. And I know you had mentioned you were a part of a club.
Yeah. We are here in Denver. There's a pretty big one here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How many members do y'all have?
Hundreds, I think. Tony,
Wow.
you probably know more than I do. Tony's been in it longer than I have. He finally, it was one of those things when I met Tony and him and I started digging together. He was a member of the club and I'd been thinking about joining, and he's like, you got to go. So we finally ended up going back, getting down there and signing up. There's a lot. And a lot of these guys that are there and these gals that are there, they go 40 years. They've been detecting 30, 40 years, like
Right.
tremendous amount of time. And there's just no replacing that kind of experience, and you get to know them a little bit and you get to these meetings and give each other the business a little bit. And so but your club's still going. That's pretty
That
impressive.
club is still going, yeah. And that's something that was awesome about being a part of a metal detecting club. I always thought an advantage is you're able to try out different machines. I mean, we would always just swap machines, or hey, do you want to try out this machine? And I remember there was this guy, Martin. His name is Martin. He's been detecting ever since detectors first made, and everybody would. Whatever Martin is using is what they were wanting to buy. He was always, top find of the month, and
That's funny.
But it didn't matter whatever machine Martin was using, everybody wanted to go buy one.
That's funny. Yeah, I was looking here in chat. We had a few more people sneak in on us here. We maybe say, that Ben Frank OG. I wasn't familiar with you when you first came on the chat, but I do want to say hello to you. And I know that a bunch of people just came on and subbed your channel, so that's awesome, bud. Welcome to the live stream. I just went and subbed your channel also. So The Life and Times of Barney Taylor, another great channel. Finders Keepers is a great channel. 9 to Finder, Sebastian's in the house. Great to see you, buddy. Joe Brown, I said hi to you earlier. Down South Detecting, Zach is in the house. Boy, he's got a great channel, finding tons of stuff. You and I were talking about street tear-outs earlier, and Zach right now, Down South Detecting, is right on top of some, currently right on top of some street tear-outs. So, good stuff. Good stuff. MG, she's from our club too. She said maybe our club's around 300. So, we have a big hunt every year. Like similar to the Charles Garrett Memorial Hunt. Probably not as big, maybe only 100 people or so. But it's called Rush to the Rockies every year, and it's like in June and July. And maybe you should think of that sometime.
Tony was mentioning that I should come up.
Yeah.
And,
we'll remind you as we get closer and see if we can twist your arm and get you out here. So Tony actually asked earlier. He said, "Do you have a favorite machine? Like over all the years, do you have a favorite machine?"
That's hard to say because technology just continues to get better and better and better. And so overall, I don't know if I have a favorite because it seemed like every time, I would, really start getting used to a machine, something new would come out. And so I would be like, oh, I've got to go try that,
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people do that. I would have to say, though, when the Garrett AT Pro came out, that was the top. But right before then, I had a MindLab Explorer SE that I used for a good, I guess it's pretty soon when they had came out on the market. And I used that for many years, and I found some really good stuff with it. And then the Garrett AT Pro came out, and I thought, well, I need a water machine because I moved away from the beach and I want to get into some of the rivers where I live because there's a lot of rivers and creeks around here. And I wanted to tap into that. So I'd actually looked into maybe getting a MindLab CTX 3030, and I looked at that, and then the Garrett AT Pro. And for me, budget wise, the AT Pro is more affordable. So I went ahead and bought the Garrett AT Pro, and then loved the machine. And I went back over areas that I'd hunted before with my MindLab and dug out loads of stuff that I'd missed. And so I was really impressed with the AT Pro. And then so I liked it so much when Garrett came out with the Garrett AT Max, I had to have it. So I got the Garrett AT Max. So I currently use the Garrett AT Max. It's my go-to machine.
Yeah.
But my Garrett AT Pro is definitely my backup. It's the one that I I'll switch out occasionally, but my Garrett AT Max is my main detector now.
Do you have any machine that you think back and you go, wow, I really wish I still had that one?
I was thinking that I kind of wish I still had my old Freedom Ace machine, the one I started out with, because it's kind of nostalgic. It's more about, just to have it would be neat. Right. I wish I would have gotten rid of it. Another one, my brother has the Garrett Ace 250.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people, over the years, that was kind of their starter machine. As now, these days, a lot of people started out with the Garrett AT Pro. And that little machine, I took just an example. I started another metal detecting club not far from where I live now when I moved here, because I didn't know anybody that metal detected.
Well, there you go.
People to go hunt with. So I started a metal detecting club, and one of my friends, she became, I was the president. We had a vice president that drove over from Austin, metal detecting club. And then she became like our secretary there. And so I said, okay, we've got to drive to Galveston. Her husband bought her a Garrett, I think Ace 250, and he ended up buying him a Fisher. I can't remember which one. And he bought her one for Christmas. And so she was dying to get out. So we went out in the coldest month in January. There was a huge northern coming in, and if you've ever been on the Gulf Coast in a northern where the wind is blowing you sideways and try to metal detect on the beach, it's
wow.
Crazy. So they know how dedicated a person is. So I got her out. We went out there. It was her first time on the beach. She had her Ace 250, and we were hunting low tide because that's the best time to hunt that area that's normally underwater. And so I got her out there, and lo and behold, she digs her first ring ever, and it turns out to be a gold diamond ring.
Wow.
First time ever.
Wow, first time.
Another that beginner's luck, like your son.
Right, shoot. And even myself, when I first got my first metal detector, the only, it was snowing, it was, Christmas, I got it for Christmas. So I went out in the backyard, so I had to try it out, and I watched a video on this channel. I had a video on it, and first signal ever, first dig out of the ground was a 64 Canadian penny. Second target was a 925 silver ring.
Oh my
goodness. About 4 inches down, and I was just like, yes, this is easy.
Never going back.
Yeah, and then it just went downhill from there. No.
Then you take a million pull tabs, and then you're like, oh man, just.
Hey, I want to ask people in the chat, I'm going to start a detector war, but what's your favorite type of metal detector you've had throughout your entire careers, whether it's what you're swinging now or what you've swung in the past? But go ahead and type in some things in the chat there, and no bashing on people for swinging this or that. That's kind of cool to see what people are swinging out there. I want to say hello to Rustic Metals, metal detecting. How you doing, bud? Tin Cup 10 said hi to you early. Adventure Archaeology. Brandon snuck in on us. Brandon, how you doing, buddy? Let me see here. J3B Digging Canada is in the house. He came on in. I also saw somebody else here sneaking on me. NEPA History and Archaeology Search. What's up, buddy? Iffy Signals had a question. He wanted to know if you've ever swung the Equinox yet. Have you had
I
a chance
still
to swing
have
it?
it. I have friends that have it, and um, my friend, my brain just went. With Digger's Den, had offered me to maybe try out one, so maybe I'll be trying out one pretty soon. But since my recent thing with Garrett,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
We're going to talk
probably
about
gonna
that. We're
be
going to talk about that in a minute.
with my Garrett machines for a while. But I love to try new machines, so
Yes, right.
I just haven't tried one yet.
You ever get to detect around Dallas?
I have.
That was a question earlier in the chat. I forgot
Okay,
who asked
Dallas
it.
isn't that far from me. I'm actually going tomorrow to the Dallas area. I'll be leaving very early in the morning. I'm going to Garland, Texas, up around Fort Worth, Dallas, and I'll be going to the Garrett manufacturing facility there and meeting with Mrs. Garrett
Oh,
herself. So,
all right, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. How did this come about? How did this come about?
well, it's kind of a long story, so I don't want to bore y'all. But I'll just say that I'm a lucky girl. That's what I'm going to say. I've actually known Von Garrett for a while as well. I actually met him and Charles Garrett and his mother informally way back. I'd say it's been at least 16, 17 years ago.
Yeah.
I was at Waco Treasure Show in Waco, Texas. If you've ever been to the Texas Treasure Show, I don't know if anyone in the chat has been there, but I used to go every year to the Texas Treasure Show wherever they had it. Sometimes it'd be in Waco, sometimes Longview, Texas, and East Texas. And those treasure shows are amazing because you've got people that have been metal detecting for, forever. And they have some amazing finds. And there's different booths from like different clubs from all over Texas. And you walk around and see what awesome things people have found. And there's door prizes. And there's always a club hunt, usually on Saturday and Sunday. And this particular one in Waco, Charles Garrett was going to be speaking on, I think it was about a cache. It was a big treasure, actually, that they had a map to. And it was a fascinating talk. And I had the privilege of talking to him and Von Garrett and his wife. And I talked to him for quite a while, meeting them there. And then ever since then, Von Garrett and I we kind of lost touch over the years, but then recently I went to last year to the Charles Garrett Memorial Hunt and got back, in contact with, met all the Garrett team in person. And
you're in some good company.
There's some awesome people, really friendly, down to earth, fun to be around.
And you're going to probably do some traveling. It's probably going to mean some traveling for you. You know what I mean?
A lot of traveling. I'm ready.
Are you? That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, congratulations. I know you did a video kind of talking a little bit about that. And, this year, especially, you've had a lot of cool things happen to you. And like I said, I'm a fan of your channel and kind of watch kind of how things are going with you. And it's cool that you bring us along with stuff like that, and show your excitement that connection with the people that watch your channel, I think, is really important. So keep that up. That's awesome. Hey, Florida Rob wanted to talk. Let's talk a little bit. How long have you been on YouTube? How long have you actually had your YouTube channel?
Okay. In January, I will be make 2 years, and I remember when I first started. I know some of you know a little bit about my cancer and all the stuff that happened to me. I'm going to backtrack and just talk a little bit about that for a second, because that's kind of why, and part of the reason why I started my YouTube channel. I guess it's been over 2 years now. I was diagnosed with kidney cancer, renal cell carcinoma, and it is a cellular cancer. And the thing about a cellular cancer, it doesn't react to treatments like radiation or chemo. So basically, once you have it, it's basically in your system, but in your cells, but it will metastasize in different places. So mine happened to be in my kidney, my right kidney. They removed my right kidney, and so now I have one kidney. And then 6 months later, they found more tumors in my lymph nodes where my kidney used to be. And at that point, the doctor basically said, they gave me 5 to 10 years at that point, and said, I'm sorry, this cancer doesn't respond to chemo or radiation.
Sure.
But this story does have a good ending, because after that, they opened me up and did a kind of exploratory surgery and removed those lymph nodes and what was left in there, and got it all. And so far, I'm cancer free for almost 2 years now. So
That's awesome.
That's really good news. But when your health, it's kind of like a wake up call for some of us. When you start having health problems, because I've always been healthy and never had any major health problems. The only time I've been in the hospital was to have my 2 babies. And so for a healthy person to go from that to cancer, and the doctor saying, 5 to 10 years, you start putting things in perspective and saying, what in life do I enjoy the most? Well, I enjoy my family the most. What's my second thing? My second thing is metal detecting. So,
Great.
I get so involved in what I'm doing when I'm out metal detecting. It's hard for me to stop and film sometimes. And
Boy,
that's why sometimes you'll see a lot more finds on my wrap-up table than you will in my video, because I'm so busy, enjoying what I'm doing, to stop and have to get, the camera out, etc. But that's basically why I started my channel. Is it kind of just popped in my head one day. I had really not watched very many YouTube channel videos. I just kind of said, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And
how long has that been now?
It's been almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
January.
And I don't get too personal in your family life, but what does your family think of all this? What does your family think of, mom's a YouTuber, or
At first it's cool. My youngest son, he's 15 now.
Yeah.
And it's funny. He wears my Zero Discrimination hoodie to school, and that's something I never expected. I just bought him one, gave him one, and he wears it to school. So
that's awesome.
Kids ask him about it sometimes. Oh, cool, your mom's a YouTube fan.
That's so funny. That's awesome, though. That is great. I experienced the same thing, right? I never thought I'd be, 50 plus years old and have an Instagram
Right.
account, a Twitter account, and be on YouTube.
Right.
Who would have known? But it's been a lot of fun. Florida Rob wanted to know, did you design your Zero Discrimination logo?
Yeah. Yes. I don't know how many of you know, but I am an artist, and I used to actually co-own a screen printing, sign, and banner business, and so I did a lot of graphic art design as well. So a friend of mine, actually, I kind of drew out what I wanted, and then she helped me put it into a graphic program, because I don't have any of those graphic programs anymore, and just do it up. But um, yeah, I just kind of drew it out what I wanted and went from there. Um, but I do get a lot of compliments on my. It's simple. I think a lot of people don't get it if they're not into metal detecting. They don't understand the zero discrimination. But
Yeah. Oh well.
anyway, that's kind of how it came about.
Just say Google it.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to say
Uh,
hello to Quarter Hoarder. Quarter Hoarder snuck in on us. So did Brad over at Green Mountain Metal Detecting. There are some great channels that have showed up here today in the chat. And if you're just joining us, I want to say, hey, how you doing? I'm DK with Adventures in Dirt, and this is Digger Spotlight. And our guest tonight is Gypsy with Zero Discrimination, and we are so glad to have her join us today. Um, what has been your most unique experience with metal detecting? Do you have something that stands out that you're like, I mean, you've started a couple clubs and we've already uncovered some of it. Like, wow, that's pretty amazing, pretty ambitious for you to do that. But are there any other events? Like, are there any kind of ring returns or something that are really memorable, or dog tag returns, or and I'm just grabbing at
yeah,
straws here, something like that, or
I've done a lot of ring returns, and a lot of people, just calling me up and saying, "Hey, I lost my wedding band, or I lost my heirloom, necklace that was passed down, and gone out and find those." I think what's sad is well, one interesting thing is I had a call once where someone wanted me to come over and metal detect their dog, and I was like, okay. And apparently, they weren't for sure if their dog might have swallowed their ring or not, because they'd put it like on the end table or something, or coffee table, and it was gone. And sure enough, I detected the dog, and there was a beef in there.
that is awesome. That is great.
So that's probably one of the most memorable weird things. And she did. There for a while, she had to go outside
Yeah,
and
right. Look
check the
and
doggy poo,
yeah,
and sure enough, she found it. So,
that is awesome. That is a great
but
story. That is a great story.
a sad story. I had a friend, or well, not a friend, but I had someone contact me. They had lost a ring that their husband had just purchased for them, and it was like a $40,000 diamond ring, and she had lost it at a beach house near Galveston. And she had me come look out, but she had no clue where she'd lost it. And I searched and searched and searched, and she didn't have it. She didn't have it insured yet, and I didn't find it. She could have lost it in the water. She could have lost it in the house. It was at a rental. They were renting a condo, or beach condo or something.
Yeah.
So that's a sad thing.
Yeah.
When um,
Yeah.
but most of the time, we get a lot of calls, that, hey, I lost my this or that. Like this summer, I don't know if you saw my when I went to Florida. While I was there, this boy came running up to me and said, "My mom just lost her watch. Can you help me find it?" So
Yeah.
the waves were crazy there in Florida those first 2 days. Finally, the last day, I found it
Yeah.
and returned it. So that
That's
was
awesome.
neat.
Yeah. Yeah. Very thankful, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. She was really in shock too, and it still worked. So,
Awesome. Do you have any favorite YouTube channels you watch, detecting or not? Like on YouTube, have you discovered some YouTube channel? Like, as I watch YouTube and you get the recommended videos come up, I end up
yeah,
discovering some other channels. Like some outdoorsman guy. The bearded
yeah,
woodsman or something like that. Sometimes I watch his stuff and stuff.
yeah.
So have you discovered any kind of channels like that you really like?
Um,
That came from
I,
J3B Digging Canada.
oh, okay.
Yep.
Um, I mainly watch metal detecting, but I started just recently. Someone had posted something about now, if I can remember his channel, he does just diving, and he dives in lakes and river, mostly lakes and swimming areas. And he's from Oregon area, and I have family that lives in Portland, Oregon area,
Uh,
and it's freezing up there. I'm sure in the water, so he uses a dry suit. And I
yeah.
started watching his. forgive me for not remembering his channel name. I just started watching him like last week, so
Right.
I've only watched a handful of his videos. And another one, I think it's called Jiggin with. Oh gosh, I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue. I think I know what it is.
You've seen him and his friend. They do a lot of diving and rivers and stuff.
Yeah.
So I like watching the river treasure videos.
Yeah.
I guess because I do a lot of river metal detecting and stuff. So
Yeah. Where's your favorite place to hunt? If you could hunt, of all the places you hunt, what's your favorite place to get to? I guess it depends on weather and all that stuff, but I mean.
Yeah.
Do you have a
In
favorite?
the summer, I do love hunting the rivers and the beach and the water because it's the best place to cool off. But I still love a good old home site, digging an old homestead. I haven't really dug that many in many fields, there's not many fields around where I live. No, on the way back home today, passing an old cotton field, and I'm sure there was some old farmhouses out there.
Yeah, we have a lot of fields around here too, but
Really?
there's just not a lot of stuff that was there before. Like when I watch the Hoover Boys or something like that, and they're out in a field, and they're like, oh yeah, an old merchant shop used to be here back in the 1700s or the 1600s or something like that. We just don't have that much here around Colorado. You know what I mean? So. We have tons of fields, but all you're going to find is find farm scrap. You're going to find, a bell here and there, maybe. You know what I mean? So we don't hit the fields too much around here, but
right. And that's the same thing here where I live. No colonial sites, so not going to find many seeded coins around here.
Right.
Because most of it wasn't founded, till the late 1800s, early 1900s. A lot of the towns around here, besides San Antonio, I'm not that far from San Antonio, but the areas you want to hunt there are pretty much protected
right
state history stuff. So
sure. Well, you just said the magic word. You said seeded, and we talked about that a little earlier. Tony and I would love to find a seeded somewhere around here in Colorado. It'd be amazing. It'd be very unique and very rare, but it would be amazing. What kind of other things are on your what kind of things are on your bucket list? Like things you haven't found that you'd really like to find?
I was thinking one of my bucket list is the seeded. I still have yet to find a seeded. They've eluded me. I guess because for so long I did beach hunting and water hunting that, very rare that you're going to find anything like that unless you're in a really old area in the river or something. And I did dig a barber dime this year out of the creek, which surprised me. So
wow.
That was neat.
That's really cool.
But I guess a Morgan dollar is still top on my. I'd love to dig a Morgan dollar. That's on one of my top, and of course a gold coin. Everybody wants to dig a gold coin.
Yeah.
I know some people have been so lucky and have dug several, and then some people, it just eludes for ever and ever.
There seem to be quite a few this year. I started this weekly dirt thing, right? So I'm watching a lot of videos, and I see a lot of stuff, and a lot of gold coins have come up, even just recently, just this last week or two. It's been pretty crazy. How about you in the chat? Everyone in the chat, what's kind of top of your bucket list? Something you'd really like to find that you haven't found yet? I know for me, I've been doing a lot of genealogy research over the past 5 or 6 years, and I would really like to go back to some of my ancestral lands and find something that I could identify. I mean, to me, that's the very top. That's top than anything for me, is to find something from some of my, lands of my the people from my heritage and tie it back to them somehow. Someday. I've got this metal detecting trip planned, and it seems like I just got to pull the trigger and do it. Always the plan. So let me ask you, how did you how did you hook up with all metal mode? And tell people about that a little bit. What is all
Oh,
metal
okay.
mode?
So all metal mode. Most of you, if well, it kind of goes back again to going to the Charles Garrett Memorial Hunt last year, and I met there. I met the president of Watts, Worldwide Treasure Association, or Seekers Association, and Wayne Peterson, and got to know him really well. And then he invited me to the Colorado hunt. Went to the Colorado hunt, and then Mike from All Metal Mode podcast was looking for a well, actually was just looking for guests, and Wayne had suggested me to be one of his guests. So Mike and I talked on the phone. He'd called me up and contact me, ask if I'd like to be a guest, just find more, ask questions, find out more about me. And he's like, oh, we just hit it off on the phone, and just talk, you get me talking about metal detecting, and him and I would talk forever. So
Right.
After we hit it off, and then I was a guest on there, he asked me not long after that if I'd be interested in being a co-host. So I was like, I can't hardly say no to that, because I just love to talk about metal detecting and metal detectors.
And that's on Spreaker, right? That's a podcast that's hosted on Spreaker.com.
Right. That's a podcast hosted on Spreaker.com. And I think Mike's been doing the podcast 2 years now. I can't remember exactly. And he had a co-host, a female co-host, for a while, and I don't know what happened. I don't know. It didn't work out for him. So he was still looking for another female co-host. So it just happened to work out. And so you were the first person to be a guest with me, because that was you were my guinea pig, I guess.
Yeah, well, hey, I gladly did it. I appreciate you doing that and thinking of me and reaching out and asking me to be a guest. That was a lot of fun that night. It's always interesting when you're on a podcast. These things are interesting when you have video going. The podcasts are interesting because there's not the facial expressions. You can't read off of each other, and so it's a little different. But I had a good time. So those are every Monday at 8 p.m. right? Eastern.
So every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Central, and so on Mondays it's Mike and I, and then on Tuesdays it's him and Matt. Matt switched with me. Matt was Monday nights, and then so he was wanting to do another night, so worked out, and we just swapped nights. So
gotcha. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
And then now he has the UK podcast that he just started up, and he has a co-host with from the UK with him now. So it's starting to take off.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. We I listened to his Chris Rogers interview, and
that was really awesome.
He's one of my favorite channels, and it's just a great interview. So all of you in chat, if you get an opportunity, head on over there. I got the link down below in the description to All Metal Mode, and if you go over there, I think you got to look for the one for the UK version. You'll see two different links once you get to the website. Go ahead and click on the UK version of All Metal Mode and look for that Chris Rogers interview. It's really interesting and worth a listen. They were on for a long time, and it's definitely worth a listen. So it's good to put on the background. It's great. I've got my first guest on Digger Spotlight here in England coming up here, hopefully in a couple of weeks, and that'll be interesting because of the time difference. I think I'm going to try and do it on a weekend, and try to pull that off. I don't know what kind of viewership we'll get or participation we'll get, but that's about. We might just have to hope for the replay, right? People watching the replay.
Right, they'll watch that.
Right, but it'd be great to have people join us for that, for sure. So hey, more people joining us in the chat. Pull tab Commando. I haven't said hello to you yet. Chaos Paddlers, how you doing, buddy? Who else you see? You see anybody else that have popped in on us? K What in the house. She's a big support of a lot of live streams. I see her on a lot of live streams.
Hi, Kay.
Yeah. And I've been wanting to talk to her about that. She's on almost every one of my live streams, and I should probably make her a moderator.
You
So
probably
if
should.
that's something you're interested in, just give me a big thumbs up and I'll go ahead and make you a moderator. For sure, because she is always helpful. Also, as me and my guests are talking, she's doing what a moderator usually does. And I've got great moderators. I got Mike, MA Lyman 24, and Tony over at 5280 Adventures, and they do a great job. But K-Watt would make a great one for sure. Upert Digger 57 in the chat room. How you doing there, buddy? Yeah, Joe Brown. I think I've covered everybody. What do you think? What do you see as this? Where do you think metal detectors are going to go? Where do you think they're going to go in the future?
Metal detectors in the future?
Yeah. What do you think's coming up? If you had to guess.
If I had to guess, I think there's going to be more visual things on the screen, like shapes and stuff. Not exactly. I mean, what a shape of object that you're digging. That's just a guess, because think about how much everything's digital now, and so advanced in digital things that to me, I could foresee like a screen where you're actually, as you're scanning, you might kind of once you get a beep, you could go over it, and then you could see maybe the outline of a coin and how it's laying, or
that's here. That is already
awesome.
that is already here. I just watched a video the other day.
It's already here, but
it's not quite there yet.
It needs a little perfecting, and to get the price affordable for the average detectorist,
Did you watch that video? Did you watch the video I'm talking about?
I'm not sure.
Chill Bill over in England.
$30,000
something like that, but he had the whole 3D thing going, and it showed you where your coil hit on the ground. 10,000. It was 10,000.
10,000.
Yeah, 10,000.
Not 30,000. But yeah, it's here.
Yeah.
Maybe something a little more simplified with, I don't know. That's just kind of where I see things going.
Right.
And who knows? I don't know. I think we rely so much. I rely on my screen just as much as the sound sometimes, or sometimes I'm just not even paying attention to my screen, and I'm just going on my headphones. Maybe they'll just do something totally all into your headphones, so you don't even. It's just a stick with the coil on it.
Tony thought it was going to be remote control. Tony and I both. We thought we'll be sitting in lounge chairs. You have like a Roomba, vacuum, remote control vacuum type machine with a coil at the bottom of it, and a big core, big top core to come down, and
it comes down and does
it just pulls the plug, and and we're just controlling it, looking at a screen, sharing a beer. That's what we're hoping it gets
to.
Now
that would be nice.
Hey, I was watching your slideshow here going across, and Digger's Den logo popped up. Why don't you talk to me a little bit about Digger's Den and talk to people in chat and what that is?
Okay, so Digger's Den is a fairly new thing that actually came about from the all metal mode as well. Brian Harvey from Digger's Den, he is the actual owner of the Digger's Den metal detecting website, and sells all things metal detectors, all kinds of brands, not just Garrett. Garrett, Mine Lab, Fisher, just all basically all brands. I think he's got the new Noctum macro as well. I think he just got a shipment of that in, and he had asked if I would be interested into being a sales rep, and me, of course, like I had mentioned earlier, I used to own a metal detecting store. So basically, besides my store, I also sold metal detectors all over off my website as well. And so I do have a lot of people that come through my channel and will ask me, hey, have you tried this machine? Have you used this machine? Or what can I do to tweak this? what setting do you use for the max, or et cetera, et cetera. And, or I'm thinking about upgrading, etc. But now they can actually come, they could message me directly, or they can go to Digger's Den, and there's a link there, my email address as well. I can't remember if my phone number is on there, but I'm pretty positive that my email is there, and you can email me any questions, and we can get you a great deal on a metal detector or an upgrade. I think we can do, with Christmas coming up, some of you might want to do a layaway or something like that, because sometimes finances get a little crunchy towards Christmas, trying to get all those gifts for everyone. So
it's a great idea.
Times, that's the time we want to buy ourselves something.
Right.
That's probably what most of us want is some digger accessory, a new shovel or a new set of headphones or something. Right. Pinpointer.
Yeah. Well, I got the logo up right now, and I have the link down below in the description to this video. So if you guys want to head on over there, all the information is down below, and all of Gypsy's links are down below. I got her links to her YouTube page and to her Facebook, Zero Discrimination Facebook page. You guys can go over there and check it all out. She puts a lot of stuff out. It's always fun to watch and follow her through her travels. And she's gonna be doing a lot more travel now that she's a Garrett rep for sure. But that's pretty cool. Congratulations again. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, let's do a giveaway. I've kind of been doing these giveaways here. I understand that I have a giveaway to do, and I understand that you have a giveaway to do. Which one do you want to do first? What are you thinking?
Let's do yours first.
Do mine? Okay.
And then
I'll put this up. This is a Weekly Dirt T-shirt. I've been giving them away every digger spotlight, and we do it the same way every time. I don't want anybody to get going yet. Y'all know kind of probably what's coming up, but everyone just be thinking of a number between 1 and 100. And when I tell you to go, you're going to start typing those in, and we're going to look for the number that we've pre-selected. Gypsy and I have both pre-selected a number between 1 and 100, and to win a Weekly Dirt T-shirt, as you see up right now, go. All right, help me look there, Gypsy. It'll be a little bit of a delay, and then they'll just start flying. You might have to scroll up to slow it down. Stop. Already saw it. Bing, ding, 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 ding. That was quick. Somebody nailed it right off the bat. That was really quick. So everyone stop. I'll scroll up here. I know who I saw. I know who I saw. Do you see it? Gypsy, you still there, or did you freeze up? Gypsy, do I still have you? It looks like maybe you disconnected, if you can hear me. Let me try and text her. It looks like she may be disconnected here. The numbers got too much for her, I think. I think it... there you go. Oh, nope. There, okay. So, yep, she left, and she'll come back. So this shows you what happens when I don't have my guest on. It changes up everything. So we connect through a Zoom video conferencing app, and it's very reliant on how many guests I have and where they're positioned on the window to fit within the windows that I've created for you here. So I'll go ahead and tell you that the winner, everyone's going to think this is rigged. The winner of the Weekly Dirt T-shirt is Florida Rob, floridarob.com. My number was 9. I pre-selected it with Gypsy before we began. Congratulations, Florida Rob. He just did a shout out for my channel. It had nothing to do with that, I swear. Everyone go ahead and start typing rigged into the comments. I see how that's going to go. But congratulations, Florida Rob. You go ahead and email me your address and shirt size, and I'll get that out for you for sure. dk@adventuresindirt.com, and that email address is down in the description. just below some of Gypsy's information there. So wow, congratulations, Rob. Great guy. Great. I'm glad you won it for sure, but total random. And then as soon as Gypsy comes back on, we'll give her some time to get back on here. She's having a great giveaway also. We'll run through that. Hopefully she can reconnect. She's trying to reconnect now. Okay. So we'll see if she gets back on. So hey, while she's taking her time to get back on, how's it going? How's it going in the chat? What are you guys thinking about the Digger Spotlight show so far? Boy, I've got some great guests coming up. I'm really looking forward to having them on for sure. Like I said, I'm going to try and do somebody from England. I'm going to try to get Little John Metal Detecting on here in a few weeks. We're trying to set a date right now and trying to get on and hooked up with each other to see if we can make that work or not. Let me see. How you guys doing out there? Plugmaster Ford, what are you up to these days? Hey, thanks, Rustic. I appreciate that. Great. Appreciate you guys. I'm glad you guys like them. Try and get Hoover Boys. Yeah, I sure will. I'll reach out to them. You know, I don't know Kurt that well or any of the other boys, but I will definitely reach out to them, and hopefully we can set something like that up. You know, I have a list of people that I'm reaching out to this for 2019. I got things in the works for 2019 for Adventures in Dirt. I got a few different, not different directions, but some things I want to add to the channel that'll hopefully be pretty cool for you guys. Some different segments and stuff. Yeah, more to do, right? Crazy. Chaos Paddlers, what have you been up to? You caught anything big yet out there fishing? Been ripping them lips. Boy, if you don't know Chaos Paddlers, head on over to his channel and check that one out. Great channel. Does some metal detecting, does some fishing, just does some great adventuring, that's for sure. Let me see here. Who is going on? Tony 5281. What are you up to? I know you did some ice fishing lately. And let me see. What's Pull Tab Commando? Where have you been digging lately? Adventure Archaeology. It was a great interview you did with the boys over there from American Digger Magazine. That was awesome. If y'all get a chance, head on over there and check out that interview. Kingston 1816. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. Hey, there she is. She's back. She's back. Turn that phone. Sorry. Yeah. There we go. Perfect. I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
I think it was the giveaway. It was too much.
Everybody got too excited and kicked me off.
Of course, everyone thought it was rigged because the winner of it was Florida Rob, and we had just talked about earlier in the show what a great shout out he did for me, and I was just really humbled by that. But he won it fair and square, totally random, fair and square.
Oh,
so
wow.
why don't we talk about your why don't we talk about your giveaway? What kind of giveaway you want to do here?
Okay, so what I want to give away is some Zero Discrimination merchandise. The winner will get to pick what they want. They can either choose from a Zero Discrimination mug,
awesome,
or a Zero Discrimination hoodie, or a Zero Discrimination T-shirt, or a Zero Discrimination tank top.
Gotcha. So that's what the T-shirts look like.
Basically,
hoodies look like that. Yeah.
My newer ones don't have the Just Dig It on the back, but they look just like it. They have my logo on there. That's
awesome. Very generous of you. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Let me see. What did we decide to do with your giveaway? We had picked a number, and we are going to do something very similar. We are going to do 1 through 100, right?
Yes.
But no one go yet. I'm going to go ahead and let Gypsy start it. Whenever she says to, hey, FL Thunder, how you doing? Whenever she says go, then you guys can go. But she's going to do the same thing. 100 GT in the house. All right.
Hey, Rob. All right. Let's go ahead. We're going to do a contest now. Those of you that are just joining, you're going to pick a number 1 through 100. And let's go ahead and go.
right. See if it crashes your phone again. Uh-oh.
Right?
Here we go. We're watching it. 1 through 100. Let's go. Start typing. We've pre-selected it. I don't see it yet. They're coming fast and furious.
Whoa, that's fast.
That is fast. Sometimes you got to scroll up. Stop. I see it. I see it. Excellent. So start at the top and go ahead and scroll. Can you scroll on yours? Can you scroll it from the top? And just so everyone stop. We think we see it.
Oh gosh. I think it several times now.
Yeah. Yep. That's why you got to scroll to the top, because I think I missed it the first time. I'll work my way down and tell you who I saw.
It's not letting me scroll all the way up.
Okay. All right.
Do you have it?
I do.
Okay.
First person I saw was Cat Tinsley. Cat Tinsley came just after 802 Detector, just before Chaos Paddlers.
I think, yeah, that's the one I saw.
All right. Cat Tinsley. Hey, congratulations, Cat. So you'll have to decide whether you want a t-shirt, a hoodie, a tank top, or a mug from Zero Discrimination.
And if you will just let either Ken or I know your address and what you want, and we will get it to you as soon as possible.
That's awesome, Kat. Congratulations. Hey, down in the description of this video, which you can come back to later and see whenever you want, if you go below Gypsy's information, you'll see email for all contest winners, and it's dk@adventuresindirt.com, and you can just email me there, and then I'll forward all the information over to Gypsy, and she'll get that out to you. Oh, great. Very generous of you there, Gypsy. I appreciate you doing that for our viewers here. It's awesome.
Jeff asked what the number was. It was number 47.
47. Yep. 47 was the number. A lot of you said 47. I saw.
Yeah, a lot of you said 47.
Cat was the first one I saw.
All right.
Yeah, congratulations. That is awesome. So hey, anybody else have questions for Gypsy out there in the chat room? Go ahead and type them in, and we'll try to get to them and stuff. I really appreciate you coming along and doing this with us. It's been a lot of fun. It's nothing like getting face to face and being able to interact with people. You know, it's a good community, right? The metal
It's an
technical
awesome community.
Yeah.
It really is. And I mean, I get some of and I know you do too, because I like looking at some people's comments, you know, when they comment on the videos and stuff. I don't always scroll down on everybody's, but I scroll down on some, you know, just to see what they commented and all the, you know, I appreciate all my subscribers, and I know you do too. But just not only just our subscribers, but the YouTube, our fellow YouTubers that have channels, and how supportive all of them are. And I love watching their channels. Sometimes, you know, I have several that I watch on a regular basis. Yours is one of them. I watch Plugmaster Ford. I watch let's see, Jason Quarter. Of course, all the Garrett team members. I watch theirs. Let's see, and then there's some that I like Florida Rob, and then the other Rob from Florida, Florida Thunder. Yeah. I watched his. I actually got to meet him in person.
Did you? All right.
When I went to Florida at the club meeting in Florida, I got invited to go to a meeting there and got to meet him.
That's awesome.
And his friend that he metal detects with a lot as well. I think Silver Lining. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, it's hard to keep up. There are so many good channels out there, isn't it?
Yeah, and you're just going to be inundated, you know, now that you got Garrett backing you, and you can be pushing you around the United States maybe and beyond. You're gonna really meet a lot of people.
I'm ready to travel overseas, over the pond
Yeah.
and dip my toes into some of the old, I want to dig some ancient stuff.
Some Romans, right? That'd be awesome.
Right.
Shoot.
Oh, man.
Well, hey, I'm going to have an opportunity to meet you because I think you're coming back to Denver. I think in January you're planning on attending the Outdoor Expo here in
Yes.
Colorado.
There's going to be I think it's international. It's the International Sportsman Expo there in Denver in January. I'll be there flying in on the 9th, and I think it starts like that Thursday through Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that. Noggin will be there along with Terry Carter. I know Tony got to meet Terry Carter.
Yeah, he told me all about him. Yeah.
He is an awesome guy. He's so fun. And hopefully we're going to be having him as a guest soon on Spreaker on All Metal Mode.
Oh, cool.
And I'm really looking forward to that and looking forward to getting to see Terry again.
Yeah.
And I've just met some awesome people in this hobby when, get to travel. So I look forward to meeting you, DK.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, looking forward to it. Got to meet up with you. You're coming to Denver. That's this right there in my backyard. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, we'll definitely, even if we don't get a chance to go out and dig together, we'll definitely get together, have some dinner, maybe a drink or two. And
sounds great.
Get a chance to socialize a little bit. That's going to be awesome. Looking in here, I had Hunters, Kimmy, and Claude Hopper Scott. You ever watch their videos?
I have watched them. They're awesome.
Sorry, Nat in here.
There's
Great channels. Great channels. And somebody else came in too. Who did I see that snuck in? I was digging with Deej is in the house. Thanks for showing up. Finders Keepers. Yep. Skullduggery. What's up, buddy? Jimmy Cloak. Good to see you. Rob FL Thunder. Good to see you. Boy, you guys, thank you all for showing up and supporting the channel and supporting the guests that I have on the channel. That's also important. And it's always fun to go back. I love going back and watching all this. Kenny Fowler, how you doing, bud? Watching all the chat that's going on. There's full conversations usually going on.
Right.
And usually a lot of ribbing too. Anytime you're going to get Quarter Hoarder in there and you're going to get Plugmaster Ford in there and you're going to get a couple of these other characters in here, things are going to happen. The troublemakers, totally troublemakers. That's right. I'm talking to you, Jeff. I'm talking to you, Jason. Complete troublemakers. But you know what?
I would love to dig with those two someday.
Yeah, that would be awesome. It's on my wish to-do list. I keep threatening and I just need to pull the trigger on it. I keep saying that, but I definitely need to do that. So but hey, we've been on a little over an hour. I now wanted to let you go on a little long because we broke up there for a little bit.
Sorry about that.
No, but I'm going to go ahead and let you say anything you want to say to the gang here in chat directly, and then I'll close up the show. And
I just wanted to thank everyone for joining us tonight and joining DK and myself. And if you have any questions, any further questions, feel free to message me, email me, and I'll be glad to get back with you. Also, now that I am with Garrett, this spring I'll be doing a lot more traveling. So, if you've got an upcoming club hunt, that maybe I could put it forward to Garrett to come and hunt with y'all. So just let me know, or a collaborative hunt if you have a certain permission that you would like for me or DK or any of us to come join you.
Are you saying you're going to come get me some permissions?
Maybe.
That would be awesome.
Maybe.
I'll get you a list.
Okay.
You can go knock out.
I might have to stay longer in
Denver. Yeah, an extra week. Extra week would be great.
An extra week or so we can do some hunting. I just don't do winter well, but I can always bundle up and maybe bring my ice pick and we can pick at the snow.
We'll head east and go over to Missouri and bug those troublemakers over there.
There you go. That's what we need to do.
That's right. Well, hey, I really appreciate having you on and you taking the time to do this for us and open yourself up to our questions and our all eyes on you type thing. So, Gypsy, thank you. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
So why don't you hold on 1 second, and I'll go ahead and get to closing up the show. I got a few announcements to make, and then I'll get back to you after I kind of put it back on music again. So just hold on 1 second, all right? Wow, hey, great guest, right, Gypsy? What an amazing detectorist first. I mean, it's the first thing you see when you go on her channel. She is really into detecting. She detects and detects and detects, and it has some great finds, but she's also a wonderful person, and she makes herself available to this, and she is a great ambassador to the hobby. No wonder Garrett kind of did what they did with her. It's just an amazing thing because she does represent the hobby very well. So definitely personal thank you to Gypsy from me for sure for showing up. And I want to thank all of you guys for showing up in the chat and making Digger Spotlight what it is. You know, it wouldn't be what it is without you guys in the chat. That's for sure. I've got some more guests coming up. You know, like I said, I've got Little John Metal Detector, trying to get him on in a couple of weeks. I'm probably gonna have to do that on a weekend because he's in England. I don't think he wants to stay up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning to chat with me, but that'll be a special one, and we'll put that together. But I want to tell you about my next guest coming up next Wednesday. We're gonna go kind of quick on this one. Next Wednesday, I've got Digger Charlie with the Stealth Diggers coming on with me. At 8 p.m. Eastern, December 5th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Digger Charlie with the Stealth Diggers coming on with me. That'll be another great show. I got a ton of questions for him. He's just a great guy, another great ambassador to our hobby. So be getting your questions ready for him on that. Things you want me to talk to him about, send me an email at dk@adventuresindirt, and that would be absolutely awesome. But hey, thanks again. Thanks for coming. Thanks for spending an hour with me. Appreciate it. Hope everyone there. When I close this down, you're gonna have still a couple minutes, like on every one of these Digger Spotlight. You're still gonna have a couple minutes to chat as the music plays and stuff, and finish your conversations. But thank you all very much for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm DK with Adventures in Dirt. Until next time, we'll see you. You guys have a safe week. And if I don't see you on the next Digger Spotlight, hope to see you on the Weekly Dirt. That's for sure. Catch y'all later. Thanks for coming. Bye bye.